Hey, what's up everyone? This is David Brown TV, and do you know what I like? Staying away from stage 12 clingers. For those of you who don't know yet what a clinger is, it's the type of person who gets attached to someone and then clings to them for their lives. These are the types of girls you want to stay the fuck away from. Now this story is a story about a guy, me obviously, who met this cute blonde girl who wanted to go to school for journalism. I met this girl on an off chance and we ended up having a few drinks together. I must have been the most charming guy because she was out of my league by a long shot, at least then anyways. I had recently just stopped seeing another girl whom I never dated but we fooled around with every once in a while. So I told this new girl, who we'll name Angela, that I wanted to take things slow, keep it simple, and I didn't want to rush into anything. If you're a guy and you tell this to a girl who's a stage 12 clinger, she will hear this but immediately dismiss it. So we go on a few dates and everything is going great. She's cute, smart, independent, funny, and I can start seeing she really likes me. After about a few weeks, I decided I should just muster up the courage and ask this girl out and see if she wanted to date. So I put the fear and rejection aside and I asked this girl out. Immediately she throws herself on me with a huge smile saying yes, but I quickly stop her to remind her that I still want to take things slow and that we don't need to rush things. Stage 12 clingers don't know the meaning of slow is, and I didn't have the knowledge that I have today to spot the signs of a super clinger. In reality, I should have seen them. They were all there, but I was too stupid to break up with her before it was too late. Now, she was a super cool girl before we started dating, but once we started dating, everything changed. It was a complete 180. This girl went from totally awesome to totally batshit crazy. She invited my friend and I to go with her down to her family's place to go to some outdoor party. She said it was going to be amazing and I would get to meet her parents who were totally chill. Now, the only thing I really heard out of her mouth was awesome outdoor party, and I love myself a good party. The parents thing was cool. I've always been good with meeting people's parents. They tend to always like me. So we meet the parents and they're totally chill, and we even start having a few drinks with them. Then comes party time and we arrive at the party. Now I've lived in the city my whole life and her parents lived out in like farmland, and that's where she grew up. Now when I hear awesome outdoor party, I expect, well, an awesome outdoor party. Little did I know it actually meant 20 guys and 2 girls would be drinking by a fire and taking turns jumping over it. Needless to say, the party was a complete bust, but whatever, she was my girlfriend and I made the best of it. So at this point, we had only been dating like a week and a half and she lived like 40 minutes away from me. 1 week later, she all of a sudden decides she has to move and she ends up moving closer to where I live, only like 10 minutes away. To this day, I don't know why she moved, and I really don't want to know because for all I know, she could have been a stage 27 clinger, and that scares the shit out of me. So I help her move like an awesome boyfriend, and she gets all moved in. Now, we had slept together before the move, just before the move, like a day before. That is when everything changed. Everything. The thing with clingers is that when you haven't slept with them, they're not at 100% cling mode. Once you sleep with them, it's like they go Super Saiyan and go even past 100%. Hell, this girl went to possibly 207% cling mode. She started slowly by sending texts that would say love ya at the end. I brushed them off and would never say love ya back. We had only been dating like 2 weeks. I just hoped that she wasn't actually serious and that she was just being playful in some texts. Boy, was I ever fucking wrong. After helping her move in the next day, we were at my place and she let it slip. Cling mode went to 110% and she said I love you to me in person while we were making out. Now, when I say before going out, hey, let's take things slow and not get too serious at the start of a relationship, it does not mean, hey, I love you after just 2 weeks. That is when I start piecing the puzzle of this girl together. Little signs I had missed and brushed off quickly became flashbacks, like a horror movie about some crazy stalker girl. I stopped making out with her and simply laughed it off like it was a joke. But boy, did she not like that. Holy shit, she did not like that one fucking bit. At this point, I knew I was going to break up with her. I knew I had to. This chick was climbing the cling ladder, and I needed to push that fucking ladder down. I seriously hate ladders in real life. She flipped out and started crying. I can't stand seeing girls cry. It's the worst thing in the world. I should have ended it there and told her to get the fuck out of my house, but I didn't. She just got mad and said we should talk about this later and left. There wouldn't be anything to talk about though because I was already planning my escape route. Now before I go any further, I need to quickly address something that I haven't talked about yet. All throughout this entire relationship since we started dating, I was always had this feeling that this girl was always telling small little lies. She said she had to go get blood tests every week for something I had never heard about, but whatever, I was cool with that. I didn't think she was ever lying about those blood tests, but there was a lot of times where I would just shake my head and think, seriously? Actually? They were stupid things people wouldn't lie about because you didn't have to lie about them. It was like she was a compulsive liar for really stupid shit that didn't make sense. I didn't piece this together until she said she loved me. Then I quickly realized all these stupid little white lies were to make her seem like a better person, someone who should feel loved, and someone that you could say I love you to. This chick took clinging to a whole new level. I swear this girl was the spawn of clingers. She may have, well, wrote the fucking book. So a week goes by, and I avoid hanging out with her, which is easy because I work crazy amounts of hours in the film industry. Then I made a decision a lot of people think is cowardly, which I agree on myself in certain situations. However, this situation, I never wanted to see this girl ever again. She scared the shit out of me. This tiny 5-foot girl I now envision like those crazy stalker girls in movies, except even worse. So I broke up with her over the phone. This tipped the fucking edge. She went nuts. She started crying like I just told her entire family had died. I had never heard this type of crying before in my life. She went crazy, going off of how she had trusted me and that I had meant everything to her. Chick was insane, and we talked for a little while on the phone. Then I finally told her not to call anymore and that I was done talking, to just move on. She stopped calling me, or so I thought. A couple hours later at around 2 a.m. she arrives at my door. And thank God no one else was home in my house. She starts banging on the door, kicking and screaming to let me in. Holy shit, shit just got serious and worse than I thought. I tell her I'm not letting her in and to just take a cab home, and I even offer to pay for it. I never open the door because I don't want to let her in because this chick is crazy. My neighbor wakes up and starts yelling at the girl to shut the hell up, and then yells at me for not letting her in. He ends up calling the cops, and a cop arrives at my door, and I open the door. He tells us he's going to take us aside and ask us what happened separately, and that happens. I basically tell him I broke up with her and she's not taking it well. Once he's done talking to her, he tells me he's just going to give her a ride home and everything is okay. But before he takes her away, she asks the cop if she can talk to me for 5 minutes, and he says that's cool and steps aside for a bit, and we talk for 5 minutes. She goes on how she loves me, and I tell her we're in totally two different universes. She basically begs to take me back, and I just tell her to move on. After the 5 minutes are up, the cop tells her that they need to go, but she refuses. Literally would not go with the cop, and the cop puts his hand on her arm to try and bring her towards the door to leave. Then she goes and brings the crazy to a whole new level. She runs away from the cop through my living room, opens the sliding door, and jumps out my back porch. The cop was completely fucking baffled, not knowing how crazy this girl was, and looks at me super serious and asks if she has any drugs or weapons on her and if she's ever been arrested before. I tell him I have no idea. I dated this girl for like 2 to 3 weeks and I only knew her for about a month. He chases off towards her and I follow to watch the action. He catches up with her pretty quickly and does a full-on search and like cuff and everything. It was fucking straight out of Cops. She gets cuffed behind her back and she just fucking loses it, crying and going nuts. That was the last time I ever saw Angela, but not the last time I ever heard from her. The next day, she literally phoned me over 70 times. World record, I believe. I finally answer one call and she spews a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of other stupid lies, but not before she drops the fucking bomb. She goes, "The reason why I love you so much is because when I was getting my blood test, the doctor told me I had an 80% chance of being pregnant." Now, I have always been a fan of the Maury Show and pregnancy tests in general. I think they're hilarious. I also know that if you get a blood test, it's either 0 or 100%. No doctor in the world would say you're 80% pregnant. Fucking bitch was now trying to fake a pregnancy to get me back. Little did she know, I knew this info, so I simply said, "What the fuck do you want me to do? Buy you a fucking stroller? Fuck you, bitch. A doctor would never say 80%. It's either 0 or 100. You're a compulsive lying whore, and I'll never answer a call from you again. Stay the fuck away from me. Bye." That was the last thing I ever said to her, and the last time she ever heard from me. Alright guys, that's it for the ex-girlfriend series. It would mean the world to me if we could all band together and try and get this video to the front page by adding this video to your favorites. It only takes 1,000 to get there, and I know we can do it. It's super easy. We need to make sure that crazy clinging girls like this calm the hell down and stay away from us guys. So help out your fellow guys so they can try and pick up on some of these signs. And last but not least, here are a few outros for you all to enjoy as a way of saying thanks for sticking through me with this series. And if you're new to my channel, then you should just do what the outro says. I guarantee you, you won't be disappointed. Alright guys, thanks.